Hello and welcome to the Potty Mouth Preacher, transforming women's minds, bodies, and souls, one F-bomb at a time. I am Lisa Czak, your host. On today's episode, I have a very special guest who has been with me since day one of my career, starting out as a personal trainer and a fitness director. She was also on my very first women's retreat in Destin, Florida. So I cannot wait for you to meet her. Her name is Sharon Merrill. So I'm super excited today. I have a very special guest. Her name is Sharon Merrill, and she happened to be one of my very first clients when I became a trainer. She's been with me from the beginning. When I became a personal trainer, when I became a fitness director of a 6-week, 20-pound challenge, all that's in my book, Portal Tears, if you haven't read it yet. And she also was on my very first retreat that I ever had in Destin, Florida. So we're going to be talking about her experience. She has a great story of some challenges she had to overcome to even get onto the retreat, to get there. And while she was there, she had such an impact on all of the retreat participants. You left a lasting impact, Sharon. So welcome, and thank you for coming. Before we get started, though, because I know that, so Sharon hasn't been feeling well, and you had to rush to get here. I appreciate it even more that you're here, because what is it with us? There's something happening, right? Where
I don't know.
it's like it's always a challenge to connect.
I know.
I would like to help you through that, because on the start of every podcast, I always go through a very quick kind of visualization, shifting gears, I call it, right? Because you woke up, you still weren't feeling so great. You didn't get a lot of sleep last night. And I know a lot of women out there are feeling the same way watching this, right? Yeah. They also maybe didn't get a lot of sleep, and they're rushing to get to work or wherever they're going. And I'm going to help you switch gears so that we're not just jumping in. So go ahead and close your eyes and give me 3 deep cleansing breaths. And when you exhale, really let that shit out. So it's, and just feel your whole body melting into the chair. Feel your feet grounded, letting the chair support you. Give me another. Doesn't that feel good? And keeping your eyes closed, I want you to just do a quick body scan, starting from your toes all the way to the crown of your head, and noticing if there's any areas of tension, tightness, especially in the shoulders, the jaw, the hands. Are your fists clenched? Release that. And just simply acknowledging those areas, sending those areas love, taking an inhale and exhaling out any tension or tightness you might feel. Also paying attention if you have any feelings of relaxation. Also, we don't want to just notice the negative. We also want to notice the positive. So are you feeling any areas of warmth or relaxation? If so, you're sending that part of you love too, so that you keep getting more of that feeling. And now I want you in your mind to name 3 things that you're grateful for, making sure one of those things has not happened yet, but you believe with all your heart, if it's in your best interest, it will happen. And just allow the love and gratitude to just flow through your body, seeping into every cell, so that you take that love and gratitude with you throughout the rest of your day. And now set your intention for how you want to feel. Sharon, for you, that would be for this interview that we're going to have. Maybe you're a little nervous. We haven't seen each other in a while. Maybe you have butterflies in your stomach. Maybe you might have a little lump in your throat. You're acknowledging those feelings because we don't want to ignore those feelings. And you're saying, I see you, nervousness. I see you, anxiety. And I'm choosing to feel this way. So set your intention. Maybe you want to feel at peace. Maybe you didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Maybe you want to feel energized. So you're acknowledging, I didn't get sleep last night, and I'm still choosing to feel energized. And allow that intention to just flow through your body also, seeping into every cell of your body so that you carry that intention with you the rest of the day, remembering that you and only you have a choice in how you want to feel. No one else can control that. No one can make you feel any way. This is the one thing in life that you have complete control over. And now I want you to name in your head at least 3 times, saying in your head with the energy behind it, believing it, your powerful I am statement. For those of you listening who don't know what I'm talking about, go back to episode 2, where I teach you all about your powerful I am statement. Sharon has known me for years and understands this very clearly. So I can't wait to hear what she's going to say when she's done with this. For right now, Sharon, you're just simply in your mind saying it at least 3 times, putting the energy behind it though. When I say that, I mean the feeling, believing it. What is it going to feel like to be this powerful I am statement? What is it going to feel like to walk around the world being this I am statement? Being this vision that you're saying, this feeling, how will you look? What are people saying to you in this vision? And really anchor that in so you start attracting this to you. Remembering you don't have to wait to be your vision. You can be your vision right here, right now, before anything else changes in your life. You can be who you desire to be. So now I want you to take another deep inhale, and you're just feeling that love and gratitude, the intention for the day, and your powerful I am statement in every cell of your body so that you're carrying it with you the remainder of the day. And just do another quick body scan. Just noticing, not judging, noticing, do you feel any different than when you first came in here? Checking in on your breath. Do you feel any different? Are you breathing different? Maybe you're breathing more relaxed. If not, that's okay too. We're never judging how we feel. We're simply being aware and accepting. So give me another big inhale. Exhale out, and slowly open up your eyes, getting used to the light. Welcome back to the Potty Mouth Preacher podcast. We have never done that. We've never done this live before, so this is super exciting for me. This is something that I do with all of my clients, as you know, Sharon. Anyone that's in a group of mine or a private client, we're going to do a lot of this on the retreat in the Dominican Republic in May 2023. I'm giving you a taste of it. So Sharon, would you like to share with us what your intention is, not just for this interview, but how do you want to feel the rest of the day? And then share your powerful I am statement. And baby, you got to make me fucking believe it.
Well, actually, it's funny because the last time we did this exact same type of thing, but me and you did it for like an extended period of time. We had like a half-hour session of like the whole like relaxation and like identifying everything, and it hasn't changed. And I still actually have my I am that I made with you that day still on my mirrors at my house, because I wrote them on all the mirrors that I see like all the time. So even when I'm not feeling my I am, like I see it and it reminds me to like be aware. which is one of the things that I definitely want to like always try to be is more aware of like how I'm actually feeling instead of just being complacent about it. So that was one of the things that I just want to be aware. I want to be more capable, or I want to be capable.
Let me interrupt you. Take out that nasty word, want. Do you want to wake up every day wanting, pining away for things, or do you want to be?
I'm going to be capable.
Nope.
No.
I am capable.
I am capable. Yeah.
You got to make me believe it. I'm not fucking believing you. Make me believe this shit.
I am aware and I am capable. And more importantly, I want to live a life where I am majestic.
I am majestic. Say it like you mean it. Make the people believe it.
Majestic.
I am majestic.
Majestic. Just a beaming light of pure power, joy, love, everything. That's
your I am. So get rid of I want. We're not saying I want anymore. And not even I'm going to be. No, I am. You are majestic right here, right now. You don't have to wait to be majestic. You're majestic right here, right now.
Yes.
And what is your intention for how you want to feel during this interview, when you leave the interview, knowing everything you have to do the rest of the day? What is your intention?
Well, I am already rejuvenated. It almost even got a little emotional, just like taking a moment to like close my eyes and like just focus on myself. So, but yeah, so I want to like take that and just let it be gone and go about the rest of the day feeling lighter. So
that's your new thing. You can go ahead and cry. I'm all about crying. The book, where is it? Portal Tears. There's a reason. That's the title of the book, right? Because those tears are going to transport you out of one place and into another, like a waterfall. You can't see the other side until you step through. So the next part that we do every time I do a podcast is celebrations. And the celebrations are what seem like these little, you might even look at them as insignificant steps along the way, things that you do every single day that are evidence that you are majestic, that you are rejuvenated, that you are all of these things that you just talked about, right? And if we're not aware, and you're saying, I want to be aware. When you're aware, you notice the evidence, right? So I'm going to tell you right now, a majestic person shows up like you did today, not feeling good, not getting enough sleep, having the courage to do a relaxation live with me. And I didn't even tell you were going to do that.
Yeah.
Right. A majestic person allows herself to be vulnerable enough to cry like you are right now. Right. It's just the two of us in here, but like there's going to be viewers watching that. You're going to help so many women. You have no idea the impact you're having right now, women watching this. Because I always say, I just want to help one woman. My prayer before I come into this podcast is I want one woman to be impacted by this, to transform her mind, body, and soul. And I ask God to tell me the words to say for that one woman. So now that I'm telling you these celebrations, right? I'm telling you how I'm celebrating you. Can you give me 3 celebrations?
Yes. Well, for me, I coming and doing this, there may have been some anxiety behind it as well. But in the end, I knew I needed to do it. I just knew I needed to do it. Being open and communicating has helped me in the last 24 hours just from a situation that I was telling you about, which is a little freeing when you can just be open and tell somebody what needs to be said. And that's going to only help me going forward, because that's something I try to prevent myself from doing. I can't think of a third one. Trying. Yeah, I guess, I mean, it comes back to I am like just being aware. Like, I guess I don't know why I'm so focused on that. It's because like I feel like I'm kind of like in a haze sometimes. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, just kind of thinking about this relaxation and taking that couple minutes and doing that, because obviously it's very freeing because, I mean, I feel better. I feel like the weight's been lifted, and
Well, that's a pretty huge celebration.
yeah.
Right? So going forward, that's why I do this every week on the podcast. Every episode is I want women to start noticing, because we have a tendency to put our heads on the pillow at night and beat ourselves up. We focus only on what we think we didn't do, or that we did wrong, or that we should have done, or could have done, or would have done, right? Instead of throughout the day noticing, yeah, I'm a bad at like little things, right? Like I'm driving. Okay, that guy just cut me off, but I'm not going to give my power away to him. I'm not going to curse and swear. I'm not going to go crazy. It's all these little things that really aren't so little, right? That are creating the future self, so that when we look back and we say, oh, wow, how did I get here? Okay, that's how, because it starts with the thought, action, decision, person, and behavior. That's also in another episode. I forget which episode. So yeah, I'm just really celebrating that you were so vulnerable, and I kind of threw you into this, right? Because this is something new. And I'm just really honored that you're willing to do this. And I want to go into, so we first met, you were one of my very first clients when I became a personal trainer, and in the 6-week, 20-pound challenge when I was a fitness director. And I know that you've told me that I've impacted you, and I just want you to know that you have impacted me just as well. Right? We had this connection, this bond with each other. And when I then decided to have this retreat, right, in Destin, Florida, my very first one, can you give us a little backstory about what were the challenges? Obviously, I know because I lived through it with you.
Right.
But that retreat was not easy for you to even just say, right, oh, I'll just sign up and pay the money and go. So can you give a little backstory about the challenges that you overcame to even sign up for that Destin retreat?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I guess it was kind of a proof of that, if you put it out into the universe and say that it's going to be, it's going to be. And I didn't trust that at all. Like I literally didn't. And you were the one that pushed that on me the entire time. Financially, there was like, that was the only thing hindering me, like the want, the desire, the need to just be away. Like that was free. So that was easy, but like the finances, like if they're not there, they're not there. But, just by certain people, like also having an interest in my like care and well-being, and like, doing something that they knew I would never be able to do for myself. Everything fell into place. Like the money ended up like being there, and there wasn't an issue. And like, the tickets were bought, like everything was taken care of. And, but yeah, I mean, it put a lot of stress on me, trying to come up with all of that. But like I said, like in the end, it just feels like it all like fell together. It's almost like I don't remember like what the stress was all about in the first place, because it just like literally it just became like reality. So.
Oh my gosh, I literally have chills right now hearing you say that you don't even remember what all the stress was about, right? Because
I honestly don't.
Like we blow it up in our head, like I can't possibly afford that. How am I going to get the money and the plane tickets and time off work? Like, right. And now you look back on it and you're like, what? I don't even understand what the big deal was.
Yeah. Like it literally just, the more I wanted it, the more it just all started happening. And next thing I know, I was in Florida with a bunch of cool women, like having a great time. So like, yeah, but everything that happened up to that point, like I couldn't even give you like all the, things that I did or who helped me or all that stuff. I just know I ended up in Florida.
I love it. And so when you were there, you remember we were sitting around, and one of the things I talked about, obviously I'm all about your vision, right? Your I am statement, how you said you have the I ams at home, like all over your mirrors, right? That's one of the things that we do it's like the welcoming ceremony is what I would call it, right?
Yeah.
Is I have everyone claim their I am, and you have to put it on every single mirror in the house.
Yep.
And so, first of all, do you remember what your I am was back then?
What? Trying to remember. I think it had some. It was like something like peaceful or something. Like I can't. I honestly can't remember.
You know what we should do? Steve, my producer's on here. Steve, we should I have videos of you putting your I am on the mirrors in that Destin house and their retreat. And it'd be great if we could, I don't know what the word is, splice them or put them in here in the
Like do
interview.
a quick thing showing everybody like.
Yeah, so we can see. So
there.
that would be really cool if we can do that. Anyway, so one of the things I had said though, because whatever your I am statement was, right, for anybody, is like you have to want that as much as you want to breathe.
Right. I already know where that's going.
And you took me literally and tell the viewers what you actually did. And this was January. I just want to put that in your brains out there. It was free. It was like record cold in Destin, Florida in January. So you can imagine how cold,
and
right?
It was raining and
yes.
It was overcast and yeah.
So tell the women that story. The famous story.
Yeah, we had gone down to the beach and we had, done our exercises and we had, done everything that like we needed to do as far as for like, the fitness part of it. And then you were just, just go off and like we decided that we were gonna, run towards the water or whatever and just like look out into the ocean and like, breathe it all in. And so the whole concept of this, like you have to want it more than you need to breathe. So I decided that I'm just gonna go walking into the ocean and, I just don't stop. I just keep walking until like finally I can like submerge myself. And then I literally just sat there and I thought like whatever I really wish I could remember what it was. But whatever it was, like I just remember thinking like, if I want this, like I want to have this and I won't until I can like feel it, like I'm not coming up. And so I literally just immersed myself and then I just came out. And when I came out, like the first breath of air was like this, like it was so freeing and it just brought like this like moment of clarity, if you want to call it, like to that whole like concept of like you have to want it more than you want, than you need to breathe. But yeah, and she filmed the whole thing and then we got to like everybody was like sitting there like, I can't believe we did that.
I was freaking out. I don't know if I ever told you, but I was fucking freaking out because I said, oh my God, like I'm not a lifeguard. What, she could die. It was freezing cold, right? I was worried you're going to get hypothermia or something. I was like, oh, I didn't mean literally. All of a sudden I heard another woman on the retreat say, Sharon's going out there. Like she's going under. I was like, what's she doing?
She's going under. Oh no.
And for us, like for me especially, I felt like you were underwater for a very long time to the point where I started walking. How long was it?
And oh no, it felt like a long time. I don't even know. Like I said, I literally just went there. My mind just kind of like went into this, like how, like it's cold. You can't like, it almost took the breath right out of me just from like going under the water, and then I was just like, no, like how badly do you want it? And then all of a sudden I let myself come up and then I just cried a little bit and, walked back to shore.
And you said afterwards you had such clarity.
Yeah, it felt like a very like clear moment. And I think that like opened me up to be a little bit more open as well. like for the remaining part of the trip. Because I think that we did that the first day, like at
Mhm.
the day after we all got there. So
Yeah, you literally jumped right into the retreat. There's still time to sign up for Worthy Woman Wellness Retreat in the Caribbean this May 2023. You are going to refire, refocus, and reignite, transforming your mind, body, and soul for 5 days and 4 nights. Click the link below. I am extending early bird pricing. If you want to know more about my retreat, buy my book, Portal Tears, Drowning the Demons Beneath the Fat to Keep the Weight from Coming Back, and head right to the Destined chapter so you can see what to expect on my May 2023 Worthy Woman Wellness Retreat in the Caribbean. Click the link below to reserve your spot. Limited spots available. Early bird pricing still available. You are worth it. He said,
yeah,
okay, that's it.
yeah.
Actually, no, I remember. Okay, actually, what it was is we were doing the Waves of Possibility experience, where each wave was not
Oh
a
yes,
challenge, but a possibility. That's what it was.
yes.
And you, like I guess that you took it literally and said, okay, fuck you, wave. I'm going way out there and I'm just going to submerge myself. Waves. Every wave is a challenge you are overcoming. Jump the wave, go through the wave, conquer that challenge. To the point, I got to tell you, Sharon, that you actually inspired me because cold plunging is a big thing, right? Like they've shown that it like reduces anxiety. It does let you get clarity of mind to the point where I'm thinking, I need to maybe incorporate that into a retreat where I do have the women go under, like a cold plunge because of that, because the change in you was remarkable. But what I love about it is it wasn't me saying, okay, you guys have to go and submerge yourself into the freezing cold ocean water. What I love, and I have chills just thinking about it again, is that it was you. It came from internal. You said, no, I'm going to test myself to see what that feeling is like, to want something that bad.
Right.
And that feeling. And the fact that it came internally from you is everything. Right. And we saw the change in you also after that, because you were like so open then, just sharing, really raw, heartfelt things that you were feeling and going through. I know you impacted my daughter, Eliana, who was 16 at the time. You had such an impact on her because she was like, because it was her. And then I think, so she was 16 and you were like the 20-year-old, we had a 30-year-old it's like it kept going up in age. Right. But that had such an impact on her to see you be willing to do that on your own. And can you talk about, just give us a couple other, like, what were the most valuable things besides that? I don't know how you're going to top that one, right? But can you talk about a couple other valuable lessons maybe that you learned or takeaways from the retreat, and maybe that you took home with you also?
Well, one of the things was just being open and honest with people that I didn't know, because I didn't know anybody on the retreat except for you and your daughter, and you know how I am. I'm typically not a very open, forthcoming person with just a bunch of strangers. Like it took my second challenge before, and then I was like all like a huge like cheerleader, but it was mainly for you. But anyways, that's another story. But yeah, I mean, going up there and like just being with women and like knowing that everybody has the same, everybody has similar struggles, and a lot of them like might fall into the same categories, but they're like geared by different things. So, and it also helped me like, again, like with all the meditation that we did, like it taught me to like be more in tune with how I'm feeling. Like we were talking about it, even just based on us both having not been feeling well. And like you said, focusing on like where, where is that coming from? Is there an outside source causing things to like linger around that we're not dealing with or something? But yeah, it just, I guess like actually now I'm thinking about it, like that trip helped me be more aware, which is one thing that I'm going, I'm definitely doing. So I'm trying to think of, well, that and I have a new love for kayaking as well.
Yes. Which that was funny too, right? That whole kayaking thing.
Everything about that trip worked out though. Like, I mean, it was great. But, and that was the other thing is like knowing what you guys did on the fly, like, just sitting there being like, hey, you don't have to have everything together and look at how awesome everything turned out. Like,
right. Because a lot of things went wrong on that retreat. And I was just honest with all of you, right? And I incorporated it into the lessons. Like, okay, this is life, right? We have this plan and it looks all perfect. And then the shit hits the fan, right? And what we usually do is we abandon all of our efforts, we abandon ourselves, and we go back to our old ways. So everything that went wrong on that retreat actually went right because of that. It was such a great lesson for all of us, like including me, right? It was like a good reminder for me that, okay, even though I planned it all, I wrote out everything, like I can't wait to see what's going to go wrong on this next retreat in the Dominican Republic in May. Because, right, like it's stuff is going to happen. That's life. And I hope it does so that we can have it be a learning lesson of, hey, actually something is already going wrong. The QR code on the flyers that I'm giving out was disabled.
Oh no.
But again, it's all like a learning thing, right? It's like, okay, well, now I can offer the early bird pricing longer because of that. I can offer a free healing session after the retreat for that. So instead of just abandoning it, right? I could just be like, okay, fuck it. The retreat's over now. The QR codes, forget it, right? No.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest and I'm so happy to hear you say that, because that is the big lesson that I want women to learn, not just on, their destined retreat or this retreat in May, just in life. If I can get that home to women, that's how you stop starting too, right? That's gonna be another episode I'm going to do, because the shit is going to hit the fan. Like I can't help, like stress is going to happen, and it doesn't mean you just abandon yourself. And I love to hear that you're aware now that you've taken that from that destined retreat, which was, when was that? 2000, it was before COVID.
It was like, I think it was the January, or was it 4 years ago?
I think it was 4 years, 3 or 4 years ago.
I think it was 4 years ago, because 3 years ago, no, yeah, it definitely was 4 years ago. Because I'm just thinking of the job that I was at. But either way,
I'm just so happy to hear that. And the kayaking, that was hilarious, because everyone was scared to get in that kayak, right? And I went out first with Lisette, another, retreat participant. And we realized we were like in the middle of the bay, and we realized our oars were hitting the bottom. Like we could have walked that bay, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't tell any of you ladies that were still freaking out and too scared to get into the kayak, because I wanted that to be the lesson, right? The water is never as deep as it seems. Like it was I didn't plan that. It just sort of happened that way. And everyone was freaking out, right? Remember Vanessa? She was like she had 2 life vests on.
She was like, I am not going in. And I was like, I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. Like I got my butt in here and did it. So if I can do it, anybody can.
It's so true, right? So let me ask you, if there's women out there who are looking at my retreat that's coming up in May in the Caribbean, I like to say it like that, and they're feeling anxious or scared, or maybe they don't know me, right? Like you knew me, but they're feeling anxious or scared, or financially they're afraid to invest that much money. Do you have any advice for them?
Well, I mean, it's an investment in yourself. So like you can't literally go wrong if you're doing it for your well-being. And in the end, that's like, sometimes those sacrifices need to be made. Like we sacrifice so much for everybody and for everybody else so much of the time. Like I feel like I sacrifice so much for so many people, and you have to like honestly just give yourself the credit and be like, no, like, yeah, this is a lot of money and this might put other things on a back burner, but like how important are you to yourself? Like that's like the only, and it's like there's nothing to be, I mean, anxious is going to be there. I was anxious happy to even get on the planes because when we had gone up there, I had gained weight, and I even told you I struggled with just getting on the plane, even if it's anxiety about the plane trip or like traveling and things like that. Like I went through all of it, people. Like I went through like each step there being like very uncomfortable and everything, but like I feel like I had to go through that to like come out the other side and like take that whole experience and, it just turned everything around. Like I wasn't worried about any of those things on the way home. All those things like plagued me the whole time, like leading up to, but like traveling back, I didn't think twice about getting on the planes or the fact that the seats were small or anything like that. Like none of that stuff even bothered me. Like I just, felt like completely different, like after having been there and gone through everything with everybody.
Well, I have such chills right now. Like I didn't even know that what you just said. I didn't even think about that, how you felt going there compared to how you felt coming back. Like that was really good for me to hear, actually. That brings tears to my eyes because that is what I want. I want women to feel better leaving in May in the Dominican Republic than when they first got there. Well, I feel like that in every episode too of this podcast. Like when you watch my podcast, I want you to feel better after you watch it. Right. When you do a coaching session with me, clearly, right. I want you to feel better. So that that was really helpful for me to hear. Like really, you have no idea what that meant to me. So I always give soul work at the end of each podcast episode. And is there any soul work that you would recommend women do?
Look, I mean, I guess soul work is soul work. So like look inside yourself and like do an evaluation. How much, actually sit there and look at yourself and put how much value you have into yourself, whether it be like, financially, whether it be like in words, like just look inside and like see, how much you feel like you deserve all of the good things.
That's huge. You're giving me total chills right now. Yeah, you sound like a women's coach. Like I feel like I want to hire you. Like I found my own Lisa, but her name is Sharon. Seriously. So in my book, Portal Tears, you guys, you can order this book if you haven't yet. Go to the Destined chapter. Sharon is in the book, of course. Submerging herself under the water and rising up like a phoenix out of the ashes is actually in the book. So I really encourage you to get the book. And Sharon, did you say have a new cover now? Sharon read.
I've been meaning to say something. I was like, I love the new cover.
It makes more sense to people. I had it redone, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the mirror. I had to have a mirror on it, of course, because it's everything about the woman in the mirror. So I can't thank you enough for being on here, Sharon. I love you so much. And I am so honored to have been a part of your journey and have you be on my journey from day one of me starting this whole career that I'm in now. It means so much to me.
Oh,
you are a soul sister to me, and you will always be a soul sister to me. I love you. Okay, I think that's a wrap. But wait a minute, before we do that, Sharon, do it with me. The very final part is we say, you are worth it.
Yes, you are worth